So hello, welcome back to Go Again Gaming. My name is Az, and you probably would have seen the thumbnail or the title of this video, but yes, it is true, I am quitting content creation for Flesh and Blood, and just TCGs in general. There comes a point in your life when you have to just evaluate where all your sort of time, energy, blood, sweat and tears go, and for me that has been my content for the last 4 years, and albeit I've got some amazing experiences, opportunities and memories from this game, it has reached a stage where I'm just like, I've had enough of doing this now. And I've got nothing bad to say about Flesh and Blood. I think it's a great game, and TCGs as a whole have opened up a load of experiences for not only me but a lot of people out there, right? But there comes a time when you have to evaluate the content that you're putting out and is it really worth doing. That's not to say that I'm not going to enjoy Flesh and Blood every now and again. I am going to be going to the London Compendium of Wraith event in February, but outside of those big sort of convergence of people for playing Flesh and Blood and experiencing new sets, I'm probably not going to be engaging with it anymore, really. For me, it was always just a casual thing. It was a new discovery back in May 2021. Just a little bit of history. I started this channel in May 2021, was looking for something a little bit new. Obviously, we'd all gone through a horrendous time with the pandemic. A lot of us questioning our own lives at that point as to what we wanted to do, what we wanted to discover, looking for new experiences after we were sort of bogged down in our houses for so long. And I discovered Flesh and Blood and I really, really like the hero-centric aspect of it. I've always been a massive fan of role-playing games and, you know, sort of having an avatar that you control to then navigate your way through the world based on what your preferred play style is. And for me, it was Viserai early on. Loved Viserai and Runeblade, loved that whole Warlock vibe. And then obviously that evolved into loving Azalea as well, which was like my sort of rogue, thief, assassin, thieves guild type class, which I really, really liked. Obviously, the rest is history with how Azalea impacted this channel and impacted my life, honestly. But I got to do some great things and collect some great things as well. So this little button down here, you can donate to me. I'm going to be doing a raffle, so the tickets are £3 each. So if you donate £3 to this little button down here, that goes straight to me. If you've ever enjoyed my content, if you ever found any value in my content, now would be a great time to do that. I'm currently in the lowest paid job I've ever been. I was made redundant from the job that I thought I was going to be in for a long time, which was in the games industry. A lot of people will know what that's about. I'm not going to go into it here, but I was made redundant from there, and since then have been temping for a long time in just warehouse minimum wage work in the UK, and it's not well paid. So if you want to donate to this cause down here, I'm doing a raffle for £3 a ticket. And that'll be drawn at a later stage. So if you do contribute down here, make sure you add your email address in there, because when I do draw it, I'm going to need to contact you. I'll go through the raffle prizes a little bit later in this video, because it's some cool stuff in there from the history of this channel and the history of what I've been doing here. But speaking of what I've been doing, I've been able to spoil some great things for this game and been given some great opportunities. So obviously I was well into Ranger. One of the massive turning points of Go Again Gaming was the Azalea cult. And I'll speak about the types of content that I've done on this channel a little bit later, because I feel like I've done pretty much everything that I ever wanted to do on TCG content. I think I've reached the peak of what I wanted to achieve and what I wanted to put out there, but I'll get into that a little bit later. But I've been given some great opportunities. Obviously, Azalea Cult was a massive part of this channel, and I got to spoil a new bow and a new quiver for the Ranger class, which was obviously Sandscar Great Bow and Quiver of Abyssal Depth. We didn't really see too much highlights on those cards, but they were cool nonetheless, and it was great to spoil them. Obviously, we got the Azalea specialization card as well, which we got to spoil, which was Judge, Jury, Executioner. Again, didn't really see too much play, but again, just amazing artwork and an amazing card to spoil for someone that was absolutely in love with Azalea, and a lot of people were, right? And then to cap it all off with regards to Azalea's journey, before she LL'd, we got to spoil the Azalea Armoury deck full deck list, which again is something that I don't think any content creator has been given the opportunity to do. So that really sort of spoke to how much sort of LSS, I guess, kind of believed in what we were doing at the Azalea cult. We never really were into the hero because she was good, because that was just not the case. When we were doing the Azalea cult, she didn't even have Everfest cards available to her. So it's she didn't even have Read the Glide Path when we started our Azalea cult journey, right? So it's been a huge journey with the Azalea character, at least in this channel. And it just so coincided that my nickname growing up was Azza. That's a sort of nickname for Aaron, Az. And the fact that the character that impacted the channel the most was Azalea, very interesting, very funny. But yeah, and then we also got given, when we started the League That Means Nothing, we did 4 seasons with the one that's just concluded. And as a result of doing all those and starting up, there's like grassroots tournaments that mean nothing. James White actually gave us 100 LSS printed, Flesh and Blood branded, unique playmats to give to all of the participants of the League That Means Nothing Season 3. And again, that was the first time LSS have ever done something like that. Printed unique playmats for a content creator. So I was kind of one of the first experiments, I guess, as to how LSS could reward content creators directly. This was before content creator grants, right? And I made a video after receiving that amazing gift as to, is this a stepping stone to how LSS is going to help creators going forward? And lo and behold, it was. They started doing the monetary grants. So congratulations to those that got those. But yeah, I've achieved a lot in this game, and much of which I didn't think I would, to be honest. And I've also had a load of different content types as well. And as a creator, you do have to change the things that you do. I feel that you feel free to disagree with me or agree to disagree. I do not think you are a content creator if you do the same things over and over again. If you constantly do the same type of videos over and over again, if it's just a talking head video, reading over a recent article or something, there is a place for that, fair enough, but I just don't feel that you're a creator if you just do those types of videos. I have done so many different types of videos before kind of settling on the League That Means Nothing, and I contradict myself to a certain degree with the League That Means Nothing because they were the same type of videos, but maybe that's why my mindset is where it is. That's where my head is at the moment, because I've just done the same thing over and over and over and over and over again, and I just don't get satisfaction from that. Maybe that's one of the reasons why I've come to this conclusion, because over the last year or so, the only content I've really been doing, apart from the couple of vlogs here and there, has been gameplay from other people playing games. And that's not to say that some people don't find that valuable. I think that the way the League That Means Nothing was delivered, and the fact that we got casters on to go through the gameplay and everything as it was happening, I think was a valuable thing to have. But me as a creator, burnt me out to do the same thing over and over and over and over again. And if you're a creator, you will hit this wall eventually. You can tell yourself that you won't, and that you love the videos that you make, even though they're all exactly the same, but you will hit the wall. You will question your ability to continue to do these things. And for me, I have reached the natural end of my content creation journey, but I still feel good about what I've done and what I've achieved, luckily. I haven't just banged my head against a brick wall constantly, although I have done that before, and you have to, if you're going to be shouting into the void with no audience, you have to bang your head against a brick wall constantly to be able to eventually get there. There's going to be a lot of losses before you get wins, and obviously the professional players of Flesh and Blood and any sport or any competitive sort of endeavour will tell you that you don't win straight away. You're not just born with the ability to win. You have to lose again and again and again. You have to try lots of different things before you find a winning formula for anything, right? And that only happened really twice on my channel. I found an amazing piece of content in the Azalea cult that really resonated with people everywhere, right? And then the League That Means Nothing really resonated with a lot of people everywhere. And over the 4 years that I've done Go Again Gaming, 2 ideas were great. Out of all the other ideas that I had, 2 ideas were the ones that really stuck. And there were also a couple of other videos and stuff that I'm proud of that I think were great in the moment. But those were the only 2 that really sort of changed the trajectory of Go Again Gaming and had this constant piece of content. But even if you have a constant piece of content that you think is good, eventually you are going to want to change it. Or at least that's my experience as a creator. And I've been in bands and all sorts of stuff, right? So I've written songs. I used to write songs a certain way until I thought, oh, no, I'm bored of that now. I'll try something else. I started writing things a different way. I got bored of that, so I tried something else. And this can be good or bad, depending on the audience that you're putting it out to, etc. But you as a creator, you have to follow what you want to do next. And for me, the natural journey for Flesh and Blood has ended. The TCG content creation space for Flesh and Blood has ended for me. I feel like I've done everything that I wanted to do. And this brings me to my next sort of segment, which is all the sort of core memories and accomplishments that I've had with this game. There's going to be a lot of these, and all of the things that I'm going to mention are available still to watch on the channel, unless YouTube's taken it down, but I don't see why they would. So, of course, we've mentioned the Azalea cult. The Azalea cult was a huge worldwide movement. Me and Jim from Fab TCG Cards started that as just an appreciation piece for loving the character of Azalea, despite how bad she was competitively. And that hit a nerve with a lot of people, and clearly a lot of people felt the same way with the fact that they just wanted a safe space to enjoy and appreciate this character without being ridiculed by their friends as to how bad she was in the actual gameplay, right? So that resonated with a lot of people. Another thing that resonated with a lot of people was the League That Means Nothing, of course. I've just mentioned it, but a safe space for everybody to converge and play webcam games online was a great thing for me to create. And I feel like my organisational skills of creating these things and managing these things are good. And obviously we've got more pieces of content which then touch upon that organisational skill. Maybe that's something I need to lean into career-wise, organisational skills, maybe event management or something like that, right? Because I've always had a knack for gathering people together and then leading them in whatever that is, right? So the League That Means Nothing, for instance, is a big Discord for a League That Means Nothing. Everybody comes in. I lay out the rules as to when the round's going to be played, how you upload your videos, etc., etc. Because the creation process of the League That Means Nothing is a long-ass one, right? If I just try and go through this as quickly as possible, I set up the tournament. I then say the dates of which each round is going to be drawn. You have a certain amount of time to organise and play that match with your opponent. You, as a player, have to download and record your games via OBS or something similar, which I then put out a separate video teaching people how to do that. OBS is a great tool for anybody that wants to capture content of any description, right? Especially what your screen is showing. OBS is great for that. So these players then, on a week-to-week basis, organise and play their games with their opponents. They then capture that content, upload it to a shared drive. Now, what I have to do is download that video from the shared drive, put it into Adobe Premiere Pro, whack the overlay on it, watch the whole game through, adjust the live totals, adjust the card flash-ups, obviously put the sponsor images in there, and obviously the intro and the outro and the sponsor slot before the game starts. Then I export that video and give it to one of the casters that we have as our collaborators for the season. They then watch it. They then record their casting and commentary. Then I go back into their file, download their casting and commentary, overlay that over the top of the original export for the gameplay, export it again, upload it to YouTube, make a thumbnail, and this whole process repeats itself for last season 15 times per round, which was absolutely insane. So again, please donate down here if I've ever brought any value to your life. I would love to get paid for that. It would be good, but I appreciate not many people are gonna do that. That being said, it was a lot of work, and it meant a lot to a lot of people. The League That Means Nothing was a great thing, a great idea, right? And LSS noticed. They gave me the League That Means Nothing playmats. They thought it was a great idea, and it was a great piece of content. I really, really enjoyed it. It gave Go Again Gaming a direction after Azalea was living legended, and the Azalea cult really stopped a while before she living legended anyway, because obviously the professional players and the people that were playing at a high level realised that the deck was good, and therefore me and Jim were just like, how can we talk about or add value or add more value to Azalea? We can't, because obviously it's out of our hands now. The professional players are giving more value and insight on this deck than we ever could. So that was a bit of an identity crisis when that started happening. It was great to see Azalea good, but also bad for the Azalea cult, because obviously we were thriving on the fact that she was bad and just giving people that safe space that they could enjoy their character even if it was a bad deck. That started being taken away from us. So again, I went through a bit of an identity crisis with Go Again Gaming, and the League That Means Nothing saved it to a certain degree. And then of course I loved just doing my vlog content. I loved doing the sort of piss up content, the 18 plus X-rated uncensored content of the GoPro footage at random events. People seem to like that. People always used to comment, I look forward to your vlogs when you go to these places. And I was always going to capture these moments anyway, not just for the audience that I procured at Go Again Gaming, but for myself also. I love to capture things. GoPros are great for that, because you can just get it out your pocket and click, and then you're off to the races. I just love capturing memories and being able to sort of reminisce on them at different points in life. I think it's great to have that. But speaking of content pieces and variety, there's loads of other things that I've done as well. I've done fab lore readings, so I've read lore off of the character pages. I've done how to play videos, even though they were absolute garbage and they weren't how to play videos at all. I've done lots of giveaway videos. Speaking of which, there's going to be a giveaway down here, so obviously there's a raffle ticket, £3 each. I'll go through the prizes in a moment. I've done random talking head videos and ideas and speculations and news and all that sort of stuff. I've just had a OBS recording like this with the screen of the article of what I'm reading, and again, I just got no satisfaction from doing that. There's so many people that do that with bigger audiences. One piece of content that I really, really liked was the Let's Visit series, which is basically me going to a local game store that hosts or organises or sells Flesh and Blood, and do like a little tour of that shop and interview the owner of that shop or the sort of assistant of that shop, as to how they ran events and all that sort of good stuff. So I really, really liked that series. I've been all over the place doing that. I've done a lot of UK stores. I did the Barcelona store, the Lille store, the Osaka store, Switzerland store. Done loads of different stores on that Let's Visit series, so I've really, really enjoyed that. I thought a lot of value was in that, and I love to showcase the local game stores around the world, and that's one thing that I always do. If I'm going somewhere on holiday or as part of an event, I always try and seek out the local game store and take a look and support them, because they're the ones that create these spaces for us in the Flesh and Blood, right? Another thing that I also did was live streaming. So even before like the Titan of Mansant came onto the scene and now works for LSS, I streamed Go Again Gaming Open tournaments, which were basically like League That Means Nothings, but over one day. They were Play Anywhere events hosted on the Go Again Gaming Discord, and people would just sit there all day on webcam playing, and I would host a tournament which was live streamed on my channel, which covered it, which was really, really cool. And this was before streaming was a massive thing. I was doing it back in 2021, 2022, before LSS even started streaming, I think. So that was good. And then Talishar, of course, did Talishar live streams every week for a while. That was cool. That was mainly just something I enjoyed doing because of the people that showed up to chat. So that was quite good. Another thing that I really thought was good, but it never really caught on, was the Ultimate Pit Fight videos that I did very early on. And this is something that I reached out to the biggest creators at the time. I was like, DM Armada, Red Zone Rogue, Spike Feeders, all doing amazing things. Obviously, Red Zone Rogue and DM Armada were there from the very, very off, covering the game, like talking head videos and articles and ideas and speculations and stuff, booster openings and all that. And then Spike Feeders were the original high-quality gameplay channel. Even years before 3 Floating appeared, Spike Feeders were doing amazing gameplay in real life with Flesh and Blood. Because they had a great setup from the adjacent Magic the Gathering channel, Spike Feeders, right? So they had a good setup for that. So I invited all those guys on to do an Ultimate Pit Fight video. We did a few of those, and I edited that to my heart's content. Those videos are still available on the channel. I would definitely go and recommend checking those out. If you're just looking for some dumb Flesh and Blood fun, those are an embodiment of that. They absolutely encapsulate the fun behind Ultimate Pit Fight and the absolute nonsense that you can have. And it's a shame that Ultimate Pit Fight doesn't really pop off. Flesh and Blood is known for its 1v1 combat, and it does extremely well at that. So it doesn't make sense to really develop something that is just doesn't see much play in comparison, right? But the Ultimate Pit Fight videos I think were really, really good, and again, they were videos that I poured my heart and soul and so much time into for them the video to get like 200 300 views. So I've done this. I've been there, I've done it, I've created loads of videos that have just got no views, and it's taken me so much time to do it, and I was just doing it out of the love of creating. As you can see, I've done loads of different types of content, and I've changed what I've done all the time until recently, because ultimately I was suffering a lot of burnout, didn't really know what to do, what directions to take the channel in. The League That Means Nothing was just a great saving grace for this channel. But ultimately, it's led me to the path where I am now, where I am burnt out with editing the same things over and over and over and over again. So a couple of other things as well that I'm really, really proud of. The World Championship football match. So this is something which has resonated a lot with LSS as well, because the football was still in the trophy room. So if you look at one of the recent marketing videos, there's like a shot of the trophy room. It's got all the Armoury decks on there, and it's got a couple of like business awards for LSS, and it's got booster boxes at the top, right? The trophy room. On that middle shelf, the World Championship Barcelona football is still displayed on there. I don't know how long it's going to be on there for, honestly. But when I organised the football match, it was a football match to sort of celebrate and commemorate the World Championship in Barcelona. It was Team Spain, so a load of Spain's Flesh and Blood players against Team World, which is a load of other world country Flesh and Blood players playing a football match against each other. And then that video is still available on Go Again Gaming to watch. We got absolutely creamed. Team World absolutely got battered by Team Spain, which is fair enough. Team Spain had the home advantage, etc. But we didn't even have any subs, honestly. That was probably our main problem. We were just gassed after the first half. That was a great moment, and obviously all of the players signed one of the match balls, and then we gave that to James White. I kept one as well, which is somewhere, but I can't see it. And James was really, really appreciative of that, and as a result, that football is in the trophy room still. So I'm very, very proud of that. Again, just creating or organising these events, which then permeate through the history of Fab, which was cool. And then another couple of cool things as well. I cracked some history pack on the top of a mountain, which I thought was pretty cool. Nobody had ever done that before. Nobody had climbed Mount Pilatus in Switzerland and cracked packs at the top of the mountain. So I thought that was pretty cool. And then I also took the Azalea banner, which is going to be part of the giveaway prizes, by the way. So make sure you buy a ticket down here for £3. The Azalea banner, I took that to the top of Penny Fan Mountain in Wales and displayed it at the very peak. So that was another quest that I took Azalea on, which nobody else had done. Nobody else had taken a banner of their favourite hero to the top of the mountain for the world to see, but I did. So as I've just explained, I've done so much different types of content, and it's just got to that point now where I feel like I've done everything that I wanted to do with TCG content, and it's a little bit sad because obviously I've done a lot on this channel, and I've racked up 2,000 plus subscribers on this channel, and I think that has been a lot of organic growth. Honestly, it's not fabricated growth. I've never really been one to try and make my thumbnails the best they can be. I've never really tried to edit my videos in a TikTok way. I've never tried. I've never been a fan of short form content. I've never been a fan of highly edited short form content. I've always liked to have long form content. And as you can tell from this video, this is now 25 minutes long. I prefer the longer stuff. But yeah, that's pretty much it, really. I mean, I'm going to go into the prizes that you can get from the raffle that I'm going to be doing. It's £3. And obviously, if you do contribute down here, make sure your email address is attached so I can contact you if you win. I'll be drawing that at another time. So it's £3, and then the shipping of the items will be arranged with you to pay for that if you want to receive the item, of course. So loads of things in this. Tie cards, fab, dice glitter set. There's 2 of those. 4 giant content creator armor dice, so they're the big dice that were given to the content creators for the armor, huge things. There's also a resource dice there as well for that, so that all comes as a set. The Azalea German Marvel, which was my Marvel, it's slightly damaged on the sides, where I tried to basically mask some nicks. So I knew that I was never going to get rid of this card while I was still in the game and playing the game often. I knew I was never going to get rid of the card, so what I tried to do was hide the nicks on the side of the card by permanent marking the edges. So it's a damaged card, but I'm still giving it away nonetheless. Then we've got 4 Azalea Cult membership cards that are signed by James White, one of which he signed in a weird way, so it looks like a misprint. So there's 4 of those, 4 James White Azalea Cult membership cards signed. Death Dealer Cold Foil, Azalea Armoury deck that I was given by LSS, the Azalea banner, so the Arcane Rising huge banner, plus a bunch of posters that were Armoury posters for Azalea. Then we've got the James White signed League That Means Nothing 3 playmat with a serial number of 000. So these were the playmats that James White gave us at Pro Tour London for doing the League That Means Nothing, as they thought it was a good idea, so that was the reward that we got for it. Going to be giving that 000 serial number 1 away. There's only 100 of those in the wild, so this is the 0001. Isuardi Therianto Azalea Artist Proof. So this is the artist proof that I got at where did I get it? Barcelona. I got it off of Isuardi at Barcelona, and the brief for the artist proof was "Sexy Azalea," and then he made the artist proof for me. Then we got a Veto Zomer Azalea Valentine's Day piece. So this is another piece of art with Azalea, which is says dominate me on it. It's 4 separate cards. You put them together, it makes an image. So that's from Veto Zomer. So that's also being given away. Then we've got an Ira hand-painted altar from Coco Altars on Facebook. Ira was going to be my next deck if I continued playing. So I got a hand-painted altar from Coco Altars, which did some cool things. You might have seen the Coco Altars on the Facebook page because they did Dorinthea in the style of Mael from Claire Obscure. So you might have seen that altarist on there. Then we've got Felicia Liang signed Red and the Ledger playmat. We've got Joseph Q Chibi or Chibi badges, which are little badges that you wear, little cute anime style ones, and that we've got Olympia and Riptide. They'll come as a set. We've got the Arthouse Syndicate Othon Nikolaidis CNC playmat, which is the one of 100, which is pretty cool. We've got some Dorinthea Dragonshield sleeves, the Osaka Japan World Championship coin, which is a nice little collector's item, the Azalea Cult poker chip. There's none left apart from this one. The Solarian Community College Academic Deck Box were also given away, and then a bunch of playmats. So we've got 6 League That Means Nothing 3 playmats left. They're the ones that James White and the LSS team made for us, which is like a big collage of loads of Azalea art, which is really, really cool. So 6 of those to give away. A Merlion Sigil playmat, Fang Drakai of Blades playmat, Red in the Ledger Japanese Zones playmat, Judge, Jury, Executioner playmat, Fluke and Box Community playmat. If you know, you know what that is. 3 of a Kind Japanese Zones playmat, Aegis Archangel of Protection playmat, Sharpshooters playmat, Ashwing playmat, Scarf for a Scarf playmat, which is the content creator one, Shitty Christmas Present playmat, and then 2 Go Again Gaming Demiana original character playmats that I had done, which are the thick ribbed playmat styles as well. So that's all the stuff that you can get in the raffle, which you can donate down here, £3 a ticket. If you want to buy multiple tickets, just make sure you put that in your note when you do the PayPal thing. That is pretty much it. I think I've gone through pretty much everything that I wanted to say on this video. But yeah, Flesh and Blood content, TCG content as a whole is going to stop for me 100%. Now, the actual channel of Go Again Gaming could, in the future, change into something else. Now, I don't blame you. If you want to unsubscribe to this channel, then that's absolutely fine. But if you could be interested in other thoughts and opinions on other things coming from me, that might be, this platform that I made might be the jumping pad towards that, or something else. There's loads of things that I want to do in life, but unfortunately some things do have to give, and I've accomplished everything that I've ever dreamed of, really, in the TCG space, and Flesh and Blood has allowed me to do that. LSS has allowed me to do that. They've had the faith in me, and they could clearly see the passion and the energy that I put in for the last 4 or 5 years, and I've made some great friends along the way, had some great memories, had some great experiences, but there comes a time when you do have to think, like, is it worth it to continue doing this? And for me, unfortunately, it is not. It's come to a natural end. And I'm very proud of what I've done, but it's now the right time to put it in the can for good. And that's not to say that my internet presence is gone completely. As I mentioned, this channel could very much turn into something else. So if you've ever just liked watching the channel for me and my stupid takes or mild intelligence, then you might get some satisfaction out of maybe if I do future videos on this channel. But if I do, it's likely to be rebranded, Flesh and Blood content likely to be deleted, etc. But we'll see when the time comes. We'll leave it open for now. And of course, if you feel like I've ever brought any value into your life, whether that's Flesh and Blood or entertainment purposes, then obviously get involved with this raffle. Support me directly one last time as I still plod along in my temporary minimum paid warehouse job, trying to figure out what I do next, whether that's creatively or professionally. I do need to start asking myself some real life questions and taking some time away from the internet. So that being said as well, the social side of things, like my Twitter, will still remain active. I've got Discord as well, of course. I'll still keep myself on there. Blue Sky will probably be deleted, just because I want to keep my presence where I was a lot of the time early on. Twitter is the main sort of networking tool that I used throughout my entire sort of social YouTube life. Blue Sky is just another thing to sort of manage, so I just can't be bothered to manage both. I'll just keep myself available on Twitter or X, and that will just be at Go Again Gaming AZ. Although I will probably change that as well. I'll probably change my handle on Twitter as well, to like Az from Swindon or something like that. You know, just a generic thing. But I'm just ranting. I'm rambling. I don't really know how to close this video. It's been a while since I've done a talking head video like this, and it's now 36 minutes long. So I just want to thank everybody that has supported me in the past, all the Patreon people that were on when I was running that, all the people that came into the Go Again Gaming Discord, all the creators that have had me on their shows, all the people that I've met along the way, the friends that I've made, the experiences that I've had, all the LSS members that believed in the content that I was doing, and giving me those amazing rewards as well, like the playmats that have never been done anything like that before. All the spoilers and all the marketing stuff that you trusted me with. It's been a wild ride, and if I could operate to a professional capacity in Flesh and Blood, if LSS ever did have a space for someone like me in their team doing whatever, I would do whatever to work for you folks. I think it would be awesome. But yeah, that's pretty much it, I think. No other thoughts, no other closing things. I had my hair cut recently, which again is just another testament to things need to change. I'm going through changes. I'll leave you with that.